there was a headline the other day about it.
Are they just going to shut down all the cat cafes and owl cafes? And
I think that the cats and cat cafes are pretty much like the height of being a cat. Hey everybody, welcome to Small Talk Japan. On this show, we talk about all things Japan in English. My name is Mitch, this is my co-host.
Hello, I'm Alex.
And we haven't been here for a week. Sorry.
It's been a long time, actually, isn't it?
Well, you haven't been here for like 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, usually like it goes Natsuki, Alex, but Alex was busy. And then last week we didn't even have a show because I wasn't even here.
Where were you?
I went on an adventure.
Where to?
So I flew to Tokyo. Right, I flew to Tokyo, and I can't give away all these details because I was with a certain person who has a lens,
right,
who might be in Tokyo.
Okay,
we were filming some stuff.
Right,
I can't be real specific until the videos come out. But basically, I flew into Tokyo, and then we drove all the way down to Kansai, and then did some stuff. It's going to come out in a later video, and then we did this huge like tour around Honshu. We went to all these different places. One part that's not in the video is we went to Sekigahara.
Oh, right, okay.
You know, like the big battlefield?
Yeah.
And like, we were there and I noticed on like one of the signboards, it's like Sekigahara Wi-Fi. And I was like, what?
Really?
So I like, you know how you have to agree to some terms and like give them your email for free Wi-Fi these days?
Yeah.
So I did that and I got on their Wi-Fi and I like speed tested it. Let me tell you, Sekigahara, the famous place where all these people died, has really good Wi-Fi.
Good Wi-Fi. Did you plan that to be coincidental with the fact that it actually happened in October?
No.
I think it was October 21st or something like that.
See, this is why we should have brought you along. Like I was saying that we were sitting in there at Sekigahara. There was like all these flags with like the crests of all the clans that fought there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know one of them.
Yeah.
Which is this one, like where we live. And I was like, I don't know what these other ones are. And I was like, where's Alex when I need him?
Yeah. No, I probably know some of the descendants of them as well.
Yeah, it was like, so anyway, like it was interesting, but like it's kind of like I think originally was a field where they like grew crops,
right?
And then they like returned it to that purpose, obviously. And so it's kind of weird to see all these like flowering crops over this long rolling field where all these people died.
So it's good nutrition in the soil. I don't know. That's what I would imagine. Fertilizer.
Yeah, like we were kind of like there was Is that
disrespectful?
Yeah, but it's okay. There was a mannequin there that had like the samurai armor on it, and like the mannequin was like a white lady.
Yeah, that's why they lost. Whoever that was, whichever side that was. No, wait. This is like Marvel movies. You know what I mean? They've gone super progressive.
Oh my god,
Captain Marvel. You know what I mean?
Captain Samurai.
Yeah.
No, like because they couldn't find a mannequin that like fit. Like a Japanese like soldier, so they just use like a department like female white lady mannequin.
Right.
It's so weird. And then they use like marker to like paint on like whiskers or something. I don't know. It was very educational. I learned a lot of things that day.
So big budget at Sekigahara then for promotion. Lots of cash going into that.
But it was fun. I got to go to Tokyo for the first time in like 3 years. I went to the Kansai for like the first time, and I don't even know how long. So it was really, really fun. So speaking of which, let's get straight into the news. We got a topic. We got a news story today. Tokyo area set to end COVID-19 restrictions on eateries. Now, I didn't know this because where we are, like when the national emergency ended like 4 weeks ago or so, like that was it. Like nothing. It was just like back to normal. Hey, everybody, we're cool. But in Tokyo, I didn't know this. I ran into this problem 2 or 3 days ago when we tried to book a restaurant. Apparently, they have all these like little, restrictions. One is like you can only have a party of 4. And then if you call the restaurant, you're like, we want 2 parties of 4. They're not supposed to like seat you next to each other.
Right. Okay.
To like discourage you from doing that.
Right.
And then like there's all these little restrictions and everything. But because Tokyo cases are down to like, I think they had like 26 yesterday or something.
Yeah.
They're just ending all on October 25th. They're just ending all of the restrictions.
Well, they've got to do it sometime, because like these little businesses are all in trouble, losing money. The Hojokin, the funds they're giving them from the local government.
How do you say Hojokin? It's like government support.
Government support, yeah. I've got the word stipend in my head for some reason, but that's because we were talking about Sekigahara.
Did you get a stipend from them?
No.
But on these, like, here's my question, Alex. Do you believe the numbers coming out of Tokyo?
I just don't think people are getting tested, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, it's hard to say. I mean, like in England, they opened up, took everybody's masks away, everybody's going out there again, and now cases are on the rise. People saying that, they've not been cautious enough. So it's hard to tell. And they're talking about the 6th wave of COVID this winter.
The 6th wave. You're just like,
again, is it going to happen again? So I've got a feeling that they're going to get rid of all these restrictions. Everybody's going to go out, start getting drunk again. We'll see an increase in cases over winter, but I don't think it's going to be as high as before.
So here's my thing. I think that Corona is here to stay forever. It's endemic. It's going to be here forever, like the flu, like the cold. The difference is that once we get vaccinated, I think that the impact that it has on your body is going to be a lot less severe. We know this, like people who get vaccinated, they basically don't go to the hospital.
Yeah.
It's like a severe, if you even are symptomatic, which most people, the majority of people who get vaccinated are asymptomatic if they catch the virus at all. But then of the small people who get the virus and the small people who are symptomatic, even a smaller group of those have to be hospitalized. And so it's just, obviously old people. That's, what was it? Colin Powell recently passed away. From COVID-19, but he was like in his 80s, right?
Yeah, he was, yeah. Colin Powell.
Colin Powell, this is...
Colin Powell. They call him Colin.
Colin Powell.
Colin Powell.
Sorry.
Not Colin, as it's spelled.
I don't mean it to be disrespectful. I just forgot about him. I totally forgot about that guy until he died. Like, how that happens? It's just like, right, that guy existed. He was on the news all the time back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I just don't think it's going to be a big deal anymore. I think that we're going to be like, oh, well, here it is to stay forever. Let's all get vaccinated. It's going to be like the flu.
Yeah. Well, it's got to get like that eventually, right? Because it's not going to disappear. So
yeah, I don't see us going to zero.
But I can see opening up is a good idea. You know what I mean? I don't think there's a problem.
Speaking of which, you got a story on tourism here in Japan.
Yeah, so basically Japanese businesses are doing a lot of online tours recently. So it says here that HIS, one of the big, Japanese travel companies, has started doing Zoom tours in Kenya, the Masai Mara National Reserve, and also another company started in other places around the world as well.
How do you feel about that, Alex? I mean, you're in tourism, so this is your world.
Well, we did it actually at first. We did some stuff with Amazon Explore.
This is in Sengayan, the historical gardens.
Yeah. So I think we did about 60, maybe, almost 60 of them. And at first it was kind of fun and exciting, interesting, to get used to the new technology and everything and work everything out. But you do get bored of it pretty quickly. And to be honest, there are an awful lot of live streams out there that are available for free. By people who are, for example, like YouTubers or whatever. Yeah,
like that guy who has a lens in Tokyo.
For example.
Has a lot of free content on YouTube about, travel and tourism in Japan.
That's right. And they're often much better than the kind of travel company doing a one-off Zoom event, right?
Well, because, Zoom is like, capped at what 320p or something like that. It's like shit quality.
Yeah, this quality sucks, man.
And if you go to like an actual YouTuber's homepage, if you go to there's Tokyo Lens, who we've been mentioning today. There's Chris Broad in Japan, Chris Broad. If you go to their pages, that they're using like 6K, 8K, 12K cameras, compressing it down to 4K, and so you're getting these like incredible cinematic video of these like incredible deep dives into places, especially here in Japan. I just see that as being a lot better than a Zoom call.
Well, there's no way you can do the same kind of quality. And they're charging 3,000, 4,000 yen per tour. And it's kind of interesting to do once or twice, but you do kind of get sick of it. The advantage I've found, though, is doing it for media and travel companies so they can get an overall idea, B2B type introduction to an area. That works pretty well.
And they can ask questions. I guess that's one thing that, I should point out that's different from YouTube is like when you guys do the live, tours and everything, especially B2B, business to business, they do ask the questions. Like if we come down there, with 100 people next year, blah, 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 they can get into that.
Yeah, and special interest groups as well, right? If you want to do like a super deep dive into one thing, like a class for some traditional art or something, you've got 30 people in a room, it works well for that.
Yeah.
But, I just don't see like tours on the Masai Mara being like a huge need. I think the only advantage perhaps is that it's in Japanese.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That a lot of this content on YouTube and stuff like that is in English, and so Japanese people tend to, skip over it.
Yeah.
If you guys ever do a deep dive into like what Japanese people like on YouTube, I wouldn't waste my time doing that. They like some pretty crappy stuff.
Well, it's like Japanese TV, but condensed for a...
And like on steroids, right?
Yeah,
it's like so many sound effects. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Moving on.
Attention span.
Yeah, moving on. Japanese man arrested for forcing his pet cat to swim.
Jesus.
So there's a two big news stories this weekend. One I didn't really want to get into. It's really political, but like apparently the election so we got a new prime minister, and they have a snap election at the end of this month, and that's going to elect a new diet. Mm-hmm. Which I don't know what the difference between a diet and a parliament is, but whatever. And one of the major issues on the ticket for them is animal rights.
Is it?
It is. And that is a huge, very serious story. And so, of course, we're representing that with this story about a man who forced his pet cat to swim.
Wait a minute. When has animal rights ever been an issue for Japan, to be honest with you?
I don't know. There was a headline the other day about it.
Are they just going to shut down all the cat cafes and owl cafes? And...
I think that the cats and cat cafes are pretty much like the height of being a cat, right? It's like the heaven for cats.
I would hate that. Just a bunch of randoms coming in and messing with you. I'd be like, get off me, Buy your own cut,
Speaking of cafes, guys, if you haven't seen this yet, we'll link it in the video description. Rick and Morty, their Cartoon Network animation show in the United States. It's pretty gross, pretty sci-fi, and all that stuff. They are on a hiatus between seasons, and so they contracted a Japanese studio to animate a short for them about Rick and Morty. It's on Adult Swim's YouTube channel. It's freaking amazing. It's got all the tropes of a Japanese anime and all the tropes of a Rick and Morty episode all in one. As Josh plays it, and they even included like the what you call it. The maid cafe, the French maid cafe from Akihabara.
I've never seen this, I've never seen Rick and Morty. It's been on Netflix a couple of times, recommended to me or whatever. But
right, so they've done this like 3 or 4 times now, where they've outsourced like Japanese animation studios to do Rick and Morty episodes for them, like during their off season. Mm-hmm. But the latest one not only takes the complete shit piss out of Akihabara, which if you've ever been there is like. It's changed over the last few years, especially during the pandemic, and people don't like it anymore. Mm-hmm. Not only does it take the piss out of that, it totally shits on all animation movies, including the final scene. Like, there's always like a tearjerker moment at the end of like emotional anime where it just like brings you to tears. Mm-hmm. They included that as well. It's like the best Rick and Morty episode you've ever seen.
I'll check it out. I'll check out a real Rick and Morty episode first.
Alex, I think you'd like it. Did you watch BoJack Horseman?
I love BoJack Horseman, yeah, man.
Rick and Morty is like the science fiction version of BoJack Horseman.
Right, okay, nice. BoJack Horseman resonated with me as a kind of 40-year-old.
It was like, dude, it was like watching a documentary of my life.
I know, yeah.
Like, as he's always waking up, he's like, how did I get here? That's my life, guys. Yeah. I'm like, how am I here? I'm happy to be alive, and then after that, drunk again. Anyway, getting back to this news story. How did we get here? Right, cats.
So this guy forced his cat to swim by putting it in the bathtub and just leaving it to go and do its thing.
Apparently, and he also filmed it and put it online. It says the video showed the kitten swimming for 1 minute and 29 seconds. Very specific Japanese news. Because cats usually do not like water, the act by the man, I'm not going to tell his name, in June last year is considered to constitute a violation of the animal production law, which, did you know that they had that kind of law here?
No.
I
could find 100 cases of that just today walking around like in the countryside. It's a kitten as well. That seems even worse.
Yeah.
Not even a fully grown cat with its own sense of responsibility.
Did you know that they have like a conveyor belt in water for fat cats, like an exercise system?
Is that true?
Have you ever seen this?
No.
Josh, please link this in the video description. Like, it's like fat cat exercise, and it's like literally they put like overweight cats that refuse to exercise and get skinny in like a tank, so they're kind of half buoyant.
Is this like a Japanese thing?
No, this is a white people in North America thing.
Jesus.
And like they put their fat cats in like a tank, so they're half buoyant, so they're not 100% like standing up on their own legs because it's too much pressure for them. And then they make the conveyor belt below it like move, and the cat's like not having it the entire time, but having to walk. And they do this over like 15 minutes as like a weight. There you go.
Oh my God.
There you go. And it's like cat exercise to like make the fat cats exercise. And the cats are like, I freaking hate you. I freaking hate you. I freaking hate you. It's great.
I hate all cats, I must say.
You
Sorry.
You got that disease. What was it called?
So when I was a kid, I got toxoplasmosis, which is an inflammation of the brain due to a parasite that's found in cat poo.
Is this why you're so negative and sarcastic?
That's probably why. And also, have no sense of emotions for other people. But no, truly, I got that. And the guy, Trainspot in the movie.
Yeah.
He dies of it at the end. One of the guys dies of toxoplasmosis.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, so really, because he's got heroin addiction, so he's very weak. And then the cats that live in his apartment shit everywhere. And he kind of gets it from that. But I had it as a child, and it's a debilitating condition.
Yeah, it's like serious.
Yeah, it makes your brain swell up. But now I'm perfectly normal. And yeah, I hate cats.
Dude, guys, I don't think we've had a small talk since this happened, but guys, if you haven't seen it, also link in the description. Alex was one of the subjects of our new series called The People of Kagoshima.
Oh, yeah.
We go into a deep dive on Alex's story about why he came to Japan and his martial arts background. So if you guys haven't seen that, please check it out. It'll be in the description of this video, so check it out at the end of this video.
Very kindly, Chris Broad from Abroad in Japan, and also Norm.
And
Nakamura
Norm from Tokyo Lens. They both talked about it and shared it.
Yeah.
So thank you, Chris Broad.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Norm from Tokyo Lens. Seriously, nice one, guys. Also, the video on Alex is just really, really good. I was the one that edited it. I sent it to Alex. Alex gave me about 25 pages of notes of things to fix about the video, like historical inaccuracies. There was one photo that he refused to let me put into the documentary.
Yep.
The note was just, this flies in the face of like 15 years of martial arts practice and self-discipline. It was like, please remove it. That was like the note.
Yeah.
I was like,
that photo was taken under duress as well. Yeah.
Anyway, please check out that video, guys. It's really, really good. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to People of Kagoshima. It's like one of our it's one of our passion projects that we're working on recently. It has all the interesting, really cool people from Kagoshima, deep dives into their background and into them as people. So please check it out.
And don't put your cat in the bath.
Don't make it swim. All right, Alex, let's go. Huh?
Evil cat in the bath.
They're not all evil. Some of them are cute.
Yeah.
Let's go to our last story today. Big news in Kumamoto.
In Kumamoto, I just went past Kumamoto the other day. I drove to IKEA in Fukuoka. Which is
I went to IKEA in Harajuku yesterday.
Really?
I got the most fashionable IKEA. You know how they have the blue IKEA bags?
Yeah.
Well, the Harajuku IKEA has super fashionable IKEA bags.
What?
Yeah, they're all black with a font offset from center because it's stylish. Mm-hmm. In the bottom, it just says IKEA Harajuku.
That's just taking the piss.
It's great. It's amazing.
They didn't even have the chairs I wanted, so what a waste. 7 hours round trip.
You went to Fukuoka?
Fukuoka, yeah. I bought a lot of stuff, but yeah, not the chairs I wanted. Anyway, so I drove past this place, talking to Chris Broad as well. He made a hit song.
What was the song's name?
It was
Too Many Volcanoes or something?
Too Much Volcano.
Too Much Volcano.
ASO, Too Much Volcano, I think it was. So Mount Aso, which is a big, volcano, apparently.
Yeah, because it erupted.
In Kyushu, in Kumamoto Prefecture, erupted. So it says the eruption occurred at 11:43. Again, very specific. On the number 1 Nakadake crater. And it had a alert level of 3, went up to level 5, and now entry is restricted within 2 kilometers of the crater. So there was a lot of video of this eruption taking place and people watching it from a car park and not fucking going anywhere. They were just stood watching it. I was like, run away. Run away.
So, asshole, which by the way is the best word for Western news to say. There used to be a prime minister, asshole. Mm-hmm. And I swear to God, how many times Western news media called him Prime Minister asshole?
Asshole.
But anyway, there's a volcano, like Alex said, in Kumamoto. It's usually sleeping. And actually, Chris Broad and I think Norm from Tokyo Lens was the cameraman during that.
Was he?
They walked all over the top of the part that exploded.
Yeah.
So they were all over that area because normally it's open to just people hiking.
Yeah.
But every now and then it likes to, and so this is the second eruption in 10 years ish. And luckily, nobody was really seriously injured this time.
No, I don't think there were. The ash went up to 3,500 meters in the air, though.
Yeah, and the thing is like,
yeah.
there doesn't seem to be a lot of warning.
No.
It just seems to go off at random, so I
like-
don't think that they should have access to this place from people.
Yeah, not good for hiking. But if you want to go up and make a hit song there with a bunch of YouTubers,
Too much volcano.
maybe wait a couple of months till it settles down.
There's like 3 or 4 of these volcanoes here in Kyushu that like you normally can get really close to. There's what is it in
Shimoidake?
Shimoidake in
Kirishima?
In Kirishima. That one is it Shimoidake? Yeah, the one that blew up.
That's the one from the Bond movies, right?
No, that yeah. So it just like blew up. Like I think it was Shimoidake. It just like blew up, just went off like randomly, like about 4 years ago. Sakurajima here in Kagoshima, we know it erupts all the time. So there's just like a constant like restricted zone. Also likes to go off Uzen.
Yeah, Unzen.
Unzen?
Uzen? I don't know.
In Nagasaki. That one actually killed 2 French volcanists.
Oh, really?
And it's hilarious. I shouldn't say that because some people died, but like, they have this happened back in I think the 90s, and like there was these 2 famous French volcanists. They went to Mount Kilauea and all these other places, and then the Japanese news was like interviewing them right before they went. Is it Uzen or Unzen?
I think it's Unzen.
Unzen. In Nagasaki, they're like on the news. They're like, "Oh, this is such a puny little baby volcano. We're just gonna go there and come back." And then like moments later, you see a pyroclastic flow rolling down the hills, and just like everybody that was on their excursion died.
That's crazy, man. Are you sure they were volcanists and not Star Trek fans who
No.
had just gone there for
So I went in on a deep dive on like volcanoes, and yeah, volcano scientists are called volcanists.
not volcanologists or something.
I think they're called volcanists. We need a Josh check on this.
A volcanologist or volcano scientist is a geologist.
Oh,
And
yeah.
type in volcanist. What is volcanist?
That's someone who likes Spock, isn't it?
He's taking too long. So
It says someone who's interested in volcanoes.
see, volcanist is a word.
Well, it says volcanism is a word.
Volcanism. That sounds filthy.
Can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it?
I can do it.
Anyway, volcanologists, whatever, volcano people. If you guys, it's on YouTube. Maybe we'll link it. I don't think we should link death, but there is a video of that French volcanologist couple going to Unzen and like dying. I mean, it doesn't show the death, but it shows like the eruption and everything. So
Dark, very dark. But they are dangerous things. Don't go too close.
yeah.
Don't go and hang around there.
But it's if you guys ever get a chance to come down here to Kagoshima and see a eruption of Sakurajima, which you can see from a distance, a safe distance, it is absolutely, what is the word? It makes you feel so small.
It's quite humbling, yeah.
Yeah.
To see the kind of the ash kind of bloom out of the top of the volcano and slowly kind of expand, and then 5 minutes later it's gone.
Yeah.
It's weird. And then sweeping it up the next day is a bloody nightmare.
Might be a different experience for you, but the very first time that I saw Sakurajima explode, my balls went inside my torso. There was just like danger, Will Robinson. It was like it just made you feel so small.
I've never been in that much danger. But, yeah, no, it was an interesting experience, let's say. And then the Kagoshima people around you not even looking at the thing.
They don't care. They're like,
Just going
oh
like,
god,
"All
it
right."
happened again.
Oh, an eruption.
Yeah. So if you guys get a chance, check out all the links in the description of this video. Today it was kind of light on news, not a lot of weird things happened. There's some negative news. I don't want to talk about like the knifing that happened in Western Japan and stuff like that. We don't want to go negative. We just want to talk about the explosion and the cat today.
That's good enough, isn't it?
That's good enough, isn't it?
It's good enough.
All right,
It's
guys.
not- if you want the real news, watch NHK or something.
No, don't watch NHK. It's so boring. I don't like NHK. Stop coming to my door, please. That's a different episode. We'll talk about that. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please check out People of Kagoshima. Check out Alex's deep dive. It is really interesting. Our next video that's going to go up in about a week from today will be another really interesting guy who lives here in Kagoshima. It's going to be our longest episode yet. We just couldn't cut it down any further than we've already cut it. It's going to be really long, really deep. So if you guys are into that stuff, please go over to People of Kagoshima and subscribe. Other than that, please keep a lookout for Norm's channel, Tokyo Lens. You're going to see a little bit of me doing a little bit of stuff.
And the live stream that you did as well.
Oh, yeah.
I
If you
watched
guys,
that.
if you guys haven't seen this already, go over to Tokyo Lens Explore, we went to a tiny little beautiful town in the Kansai region that is not only amazing just because it's like historically preserved and it's just the cutest little, it looks like a Studio Ghibli like background, but it's also really interesting because they have this aqueduct system that runs through the town, and it was historically created because the town was made out of all wood, and it was made for not only delivery of fresh water but also to help put out fires if there was any ever fires. And so this town looks like the perfect amalgamation of a Studio Ghibli movie and like the water temple from Zelda.
Right.
It's magical. And me and Norm from Tokyo Lens like took a walk around that town, about an hour live stream.
Yeah, it's a good video, man.
Yeah, so check it out, please. He gives a big shout out to people of Kagoshima as well. So
Thank you.
Yeah, check out all the links in the video description, and we'll be back next week with more news. Bye, everybody.
Bye.